Hello and welcome to Deadline Horror News Live here for the week of April 6th, 2022. I'm Josh and I'm joined here with the Professor Smoke.
What's up?
And we are from the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast. And as always, of course, we want to remind you to like and subscribe to the channel down below. Click on the bell to be notified when we upload new videos. We also want you to become a supporter of the Spook Show by going over to patreon.com/AASpookShow and sign up to become a patron. We have levels starting at $1, $3, all the way up to the crazy $1,000 Spook Show Insanity level. So you need to go check that out. Over there, we've got video minisodes every Tuesday featuring the Library of the Professor, bonus podcasts every month like Spook Show Rewind and Crapsterpiece Theater, Professor's Retro Review, written articles, and tons more. So you don't want to miss any of that. So join us over there, patreon.com/AASpookShow to get all the bonus cool stuff we got going on. There you see it on the screen. We remind you that episode 102 is out now, and it's Spook Show Spotlight on George A. Romero. So that was that episode. It was just the Professor and I on that one. Will and Donnie had various things going on, so they were not there when we recorded that one. But I think that one went pretty well, and that's out now. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find that one. So we took a deep dive into his career and his life and everything. So you don't want to miss that one. Next Monday, now, every week we do or not every week, I'm sorry, every 2 weeks, one of us picks a movie, and it was my choice this time around. So I chose Deathgasm, Deathgasm from 2015. Peek behind the curtain, we recorded this just a day or two ago, and Professor wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. So he will not be on this episode. But did you get a chance to watch Deathgasm?
Well, not this time. I've seen it before, but I haven't been able to rewatch it recently. So
That's okay, yeah.
I'll give my reviews of it in a future episode. But I do want to watch it again before I do that. I enjoyed it the first time around, so I won't give anything away here since this episode hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it again before I give my give the gore score / star rating and all that.
All the usual bits. Yeah. Hopefully, because we're going to do Over the Top next, and that's going to be our first Cannon Fodder episode. That will be episode 104. So maybe after that, we'll get back around to your thoughts on Deathgasm and on Over the Top and everything. So that's what we got coming there. We want to go ahead and announce last month's Crapsterpiece Theater poll winner. Remember I always do this. I forget what the damn poll was. What were the choices there? Do you recall?
For the last Crapsterpiece, the one
last month.
Had, was it Nothing But Trouble? Troll 2.
Troll 2, yep.
Let's see, what were the other two? It was
Man, I'm completely blanking. But regardless, we'll think of it here in a second. But the winner is Nothing But Trouble. That's what came out on top. I have to say I was somewhat surprised by that. I really thought like Troll 2 would have taken that one.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you just never know how these things are going to go.
You can't predict it, really.
Trying to pull it up real fast if I had that poll. Well, of course, I don't see it on here. But regardless, it doesn't matter. They lost. So this is the winner. But we have a new poll up this month. And here it is on your screen right now. You see the Hulk Hogan classic, cult classic, quote unquote, No Holds Barred. You've got the 2019. So this is probably one of the most recent movies we've ever like even contemplated discussing, as far as like on this, the cult movies or Crapsterpiece or anything. Cats. Infamously bad. Infamously bad. The Wicker Man from 2006, I believe. That's the Nicolas Cage, not the one of the most classic, what year was that? 70, the one in the 70s.
73.
Yeah. The original. Yeah. Not that one, but the Nicolas Cage one with the bees.
Now yes, not the bees. Yeah. If that movie wins, it'll almost be like a blasphemy just about, because we haven't even done the original Wicker Man on the show yet.
Yeah. That'd be about right till we get to this piece of crap before we get to the masterpiece or whatever. But And then from '93, I believe it was, Super Mario Brothers movie. So those are your the four winners there. Four different levels of turds. So you help us decide which one of these we are going to decide floats or is diarrhea. That's the whole premise over on Crapsterpiece Theater. So the Garbage Pail Kids movie is out now over on Patreon. That was the first one we did. We'll get to Nothing But Trouble sometime later this month. That will be out sometime later in April. And then in May, it will be one of these four films that you see there on the screen. Um, and as far as like what's next up on our lineup, beyond what we have recent, episode 104, like I just mentioned a minute ago, our first episode of Cannon Fodder will be Over the Top. So that's coming up. Then episode 105 in the rotation of our choices is Donnie's turn, and he chose Phantasm, the one that kicked off the whole series, the original Phantasm. And then of course Spook Show Rewind number 4 should be coming out within the next week or so on Patreon, and that's where we go back to episode 4 of the podcast and we talk again about Terrified. For some reason, I always think well, not for some reason, it's an obvious reason. Terrifier and Terrified. When I'm thinking of,
I do that all the time.
I get them flip. But
I'll be thinking of Terrifier, and I'll say Terrified or something,
yeah,
or
exactly,
vice versa.
Exactly, because I almost said Terrifier. I went, no, it was Terrified. And that poster isn't helping either because it's the Spanish title Adorados on the poster right there. So that's not helping much. But anyways, let me take this down for a second because we are about to embark on another spin the wheel, make the deal segment here on the Spook Show. Now we chose Over the Top, our first cannon fodder, by literally spinning the wheel. It's got all four of the movies on there, and we eliminate one movie. So basically, the premise is we all four of us chose a film. We're going to spin the wheel. The first one it lands on, that's out. Second one, so on until we have one standing, and then that will be what we do on our Cult Corner episode, which should be. Well, let me look real fast what episode that is, just for future reference. That will be in May. So that matter of fact, it's the first episode in the month of May, May 2nd, episode 106. So that's what we're deciding here with this spin of the wheel. So give me just a second as I get it up on the screen here, if I can find exactly what I'm doing. Give me just a second. So yeah, this is always fun. Adds an extra layer to it if you're trying to hold on. I can't chew bubble gum and talk at the same time apparently. There it is, and here we go. Share. At some point, it will take over. Apparently not. It's just spinning. Everything says Chrome just is not responding. So apparently, I just killed the damn thing. So we'll sit here and let it spin for a second and see what happens. But basically, we're gonna have all four of the movies up on the wheel. We're gonna the four choices that we have there are, good lord, now I'm blanking on this. Well, I'm batting 1,000 tonight. What were the four cult movie choices? I remember. Give me just a second. I got it. Cult Corner, yeah. Okay, here we go. The four choices here for the wheel, once the wheel finally decides to pop up here in a second, are going to be Mallrats, The Big Lebowski, Howard the Duck, and Spaceballs. So whatever the wheel of fate decides, those will be the four choices. I don't know, dude. This might have locked my whole thing up trying to do this. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. I'm sorry. You gotta love it when stupid shit happens live. I don't know if there's much I can do about this. Hold on a second. If we go out, we will come back on here shortly.
Yeah.
Give us just a minute. All right, I think we're back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, I don't know what happened there. I guess that thing screwed all my damn. It locked it down. So let me try it one more time. If it doesn't do it this time, we're going to abandon this. All right. So give me just a second. All right, that. All right, share it. All right, there we go. I think we're good this time. Now let me add it to the stream. Boom, there we go. There's the damn wheel. All that over this. I was about to just pick a damn movie and say screw it, but here we go. I got the wheel up. All right, so I'm going to spin it. Like I said, whatever it lands on, that's going to be eliminated and so on. So here we go. Here's the first spin. So Spaceballs has been eliminated. So now that is gone off the wheel. Now we spin it again to see what else we got here. So now it's down to Howard the Duck, The Big Lebowski, and Mallrats. So let's spin it. Howard the Duck has now been eliminated. Now we're down to 2. Mallrats and The Big Lebowski. So this is going to determine the winner. Are you ready, Smoke?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what it's going to be.
All right, here we go.
Either one of these is great.
Mallrats has been eliminated. Therefore, the winner is The Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
So there you go.
Those were all 4 winners, regardless, really.
Yeah. I mean, they were all great in their own way. So, really, we're all winners here, except for my computer tonight. It's being a bitch. But other than that, so there we go. We're going to watch The Big Lebowski on I believe it was episode 106 that I said. I had to close some of those windows, so I can't tell you exactly what it was, but that sounds right. So we'll go with that. Let's bring this back up. So like we said, there's what's coming soon, and then 106 will be The Big Lebowski. So that's going to be our next installment of Cult Corner when we get around to that. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got next? All right, so these are the headlines that Donnie would normally do, but since he's not here tonight, I failed to mention that off the top, by the way, like he's feeling under the weather, so he's not here tonight. That's why he is not here, and that's why I'm having some slight technical difficulties tonight. So we'll blame him. First headline we got here, there you see, Bill Moseley has released a new album. Now he has a band called Spider Mountain, and new album, I think it just came out today, but I actually gave it a listen because it's not a long listen. Like, you know, the whole album, maybe 30 something minutes or so. So it's not a extremely long album or anything, but I think it was like 11 tracks, something like that. Have you got a chance to listen to this at all, or did you know about it?
No, I didn't. No, I haven't even heard about this album yet.
Yeah, apparently, like they had, he's released an album like over a decade or so ago, the Spider Mountain, but this is the first one since. So, yeah, it was interesting. Kind of reminded me. I'm not going to say it's like a spoken, like a poetry type of album, but it's clearly like some stuff he wrote, and he's not really singing that much on it. You know, he's more like, it's more like just him kind of reciting stuff over music kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of singing, but not a lot. So it's interesting. I would recommend at least listening to it once, you know, just as a fan of Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
It's interesting to say the least. And some of the songs are pretty funny too. So you can tell like his kind of sense of humor is definitely there, you know. So I would recommend checking it out. It's unique. I'll say that. Next up, we have, apparently they're going to remake The Crow again. It's going to be like I guess a modern reimagining, I think was the term that they used. But it's going to be, but the interesting part to me was it's going to be starring Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs, or formerly known as Twigs, however you say her name. She's going to be starring in it as well. But the main character, the Crow, what was his name in the movie? Eric Draven or something like that in the movie.
Yep.
That sounds right. It's been a while since I watched The Crow. But yeah, that's going to be Bill Skarsgård, the dude that played Pennywise, is now going to play the Crow. So that's interesting.
I mean, he's definitely got the. I mean, just judging on his photo that's on the screen right now. I mean, he's got the cheekbones and the eyes for the Crow. I mean, especially if you imagine him with those that know about the original comic book.
I was about to
the
say
artwork on the original comic.
Yep.
He much looks like he's pretty much got that position in this photo right
here. Yeah. And he did a great job as Pennywise and a few other things that I've seen him in. The dude's a good actor. So like, yeah, if anybody could pull that off with the whole makeup and the whole gimmick and everything, Bill Skarsgård is one of those guys. So that's something to keep our eyes on. I'm not sure. I think they said they're like in full pre-production right now or about to dive into it. So I think what I read, probably by the summer, they'll start shooting for this. So yeah, that should be interesting. Something we'll keep our eyes on. And I'm sure we'll bring that back up here on the on Deadline Horror News. And the last headline that we have there, Vinegar Syndrome's April releases, the Blu-ray releases, includes Flesh Eater. You also see there Death Wish 2 and what is that other one there? Alien Private Eye. Yeah.
Flesh Eater is an interesting one. This is the you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't. But the little note that it said in the article that I found about it said it was directed by Bill Hensman, who was that first zombie that you see in Night of the Living Dead, and you see him there on the cover there. I don't know how well you can see the image. Anybody can see that image there, but you can see him.
He pretty much reprises the role from that. He looks like the zombie still. With his makeup, the job they did, on him. He directed it as well as being that zombie in this movie again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely one that we could probably get around to at some point on the show in some form or other. Some people might call it a crapsterpiece, and you can't can't argue that. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece by any means. It's very low budget and not necessarily on par with Night of the Living Dead as far as the renown or whatever. But it's an entertaining zombie movie that will have to pop up there somewhere.
Maybe it's one of those ones that is I'm assuming this is like a real indie flick kind of thing. So cheaply made type of deal.
Yeah.
They do have.
It doesn't skip out on some of the gore.
Yeah.
So it does have that going for it.
Now you can go to vinegarsyndrome.com to pre-order, I guess, any of these three that you see there. But if you don't feel like buying it or whatever, we checked around and Flesh Eater is available over on Tubi for free. So if you just want to watch it and check it out, you can go to Tubi and watch that. But like I said, Death Wish 2, and that's going to be released on 4K UHD, and Alien Private Eye will be on Blu-ray. So look for those coming up this month over on Vinegar Syndrome. So they always do a good job with their releases. That's all for the headlines, but we do have a few conventions and fan events going on. The first one we have here is Fan Expo Philadelphia 2022 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's this weekend, Friday through Sunday, April 8th through the 10th. You can go to fanexpohq.com/fanexpophiladelphia. They really should tighten that up. Shorter website. Either way, I'm sure if you just go to fanexpohq.com, you can find all the information you need for it, just to kind of make it more brief. But guests there include Ron Perlman, William Shatner, David Tennant, Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, Carl Weathers, and tons more. So I think those I've never been to any of those Fan Expo shows, but like we've talked about them enough here to where you can always tell that they have some pretty quality guests at these shows. So you probably won't be disappointed if you're in the Philadelphia area, and you can go check that out. The next one we have is up in New Jersey. This one is in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Matter of fact, it's the New Jersey Horrorcon and Film Festival 2022. That's also this Friday through Sunday, April 8th through the 10th. You can go to NewJerseyHorrorCon.com for tickets and information there. Guests at this one include Joe Bob Briggs, Darcy the Mail Girl, Felissa Rose, Vernon Wells, Christy Swanson, Butch Patrick, and many more. So another good-looking lineup of stars and everything there. So that one, if you're up in the Atlantic City, New Jersey area, that definitely sounds like one you want to check out. And then we got one more, which is a way smaller, kind of leans more Comic-Con kind of thing, really. And that's Wrathicon 2022 in Athens, Ohio. You can go to thewrathicon.com. Get it? The Wrathicon. Oh, Jesus.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Wrathicon. Guest includes Sandy Plunkett and a lot of other comic people and cosplayers and stuff like that. So it's much smaller scale, compared to the other two we just talked about. But that's only this Saturday, by the way, April 9th. So if you're in the Athens, Ohio area and you just want something to do, you've got something to do now. So there you go. The box office report from this past weekend. Hold on, let me pull the information up there. You can see the top 5 there on the screen. This is for the weekend of April 1st through the 11th. So number 5 there, you see the same as last week, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie. Number 4, same as last week, Uncharted. Number 3, down from number 2, The Batman, made just over 11 million. So in 5 weeks, it's made 349.2 million domestically. So not too shabby. Number 2, down from number 1, the latest Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum movie, The Lost City. And then the new number 1, Morbius, the latest. Now, this is a Marvel movie, but this is one of the ones released by Sony. So I guess it's a loose connection to, I guess it's be more connected to Spider-Man and all that stuff. It's kind of a weird loose connection, MCU, Sony type of deal they got going on there. But did you get a chance to watch this one?
Yeah, we checked that out when we were on vacation down in Florida.
Okay. Well, what'd you think?
And, I was First of all, I was going into it without any expectations because I know this thing's been pushed back so many times.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as a character, I like Morbius in the comics and everything. But yeah, how long? I can't remember. Do you remember when it was announced originally?
I'm almost positive this was one that was supposed to come out like in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
yeah,
definitely, no doubt, it was definitely moved at least into 2021. But I'm pretty sure this was originally supposed to come out like late 2020 or something like that.
Well, and yeah, we've been watching trailers for this thing since then. Every time you go, to the movie theater and there's a Marvel movie or Sony movie or whatever,
Oh yeah,
it's been playing.
I always joked around like I didn't think this was real. Like until someone said that they actually sat down and watched this thing and witnessed it, I didn't think it was a real movie. So I didn't get a chance to see it, but I watch all these things. So like, I have a bad radar when it comes to, whether or not I'm going to watch it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's a piece of shit, I will eventually get to it. So
I mean, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily, to me. It wasn't a complete piece of shit or anything, but it wasn't. Definitely wasn't. I don't know. It definitely has that air of being tinkered with for maybe too long. Maybe they were sitting on it too long. I don't know if they went back and did any changes based on all this. How long it's been held up and all that stuff. I don't know if they were just waiting for a good time to release it or what. I really didn't read into all that. But it seems like they maybe, if they did tinker with it, they maybe tinkered with it a bit too much.
You'd have to think they messed around with it quite a bit, just considering what else was going on with the Spider-Man stuff. Like that had to have influenced this final product, you would imagine. Kind of reminds me.
Yeah. I won't go into any sort of any spoiler stuff on the show or anything like that, but yeah, it's if you're a Marvel fan and a Sony fan, then you're probably going to watch it, and it'll at least be worth that one watch to get it out of the way. But for me, it didn't have that spark like the last Spider-Man movie did, for instance. Of course, that just came out and like knocked a lot of things out of the park for me. That movie. So this one, he didn't have that writing there as the Spider-Man movie had. But I'd say it's on par for me with the last Venom movie.
Okay, well,
as far as how much I liked it or whatever.
Then that means it's a fair meh, Okay, not horrible, but not great, not good either.
Yeah, so. I mean, I would give the edge to Venom over this one, but no, not completely terrible. But it certainly didn't.
As far as all the trouble leading up to this, it kind of reminds me of that the New Mutants movie. Remember?
Yeah.
That was one where it was that was supposed to be like Fox was releasing it, and they kept pushing it off, and eventually when Fox got bought, then it got pushed and pushed again, and then finally it just, all right, here, just take it, just watch it.
And I will say that I like this even better than that movie too. New Mutants is that.
I watched the New Mutants, and that's not saying much. So yeah,
no, it's not saying a whole lot because New Mutants, that's pretty terrible.
That was not good. Let's hope that Disney, eventually like starts introducing the mutants into the MCU stuff and does it a lot better than Fox handled a lot of that stuff. So here's the
Yeah,
hope.
that was destined for failure, I think. Yeah, like we talked about, based on how many times they went back to the drawing board with New Mutants. So.
Hey, but say what you will, just like Venom box office wise was a success. Both of them. This one was a success in week one. Now I'm sure it'll fall greatly as we go along here, but it made over $39 million domestically in its opening weekend here. So that's not anything to sneeze at here, especially for the COVID, post pandemic type numbers. So that probably what that probably means is more Morbius somewhere down the road, whether you like it or not. So we'll find out. But I like to go check that out either way. As far as new releases are concerned, just one new release. Like usually our calendar, because we do these on Wednesday nights, so I go like say from today to next Tuesday because we do it again next Wednesday, right? There's only one new horror release over our little window of opening that we talk about this week. Godforsaken comes out Friday the 8th, and that's on video on demand. So if the poster has anything to do with it, it doesn't look very good. Don't judge a book by its cover, but that does not look very good. I don't know. We'll see. It looks like one of those cheap, like straight to digital, straight to DVD type movies. But
the design that's terrible. They need to get back to whoever was doing the airbrushing on the big box VHS in the 80s, because it might suck, but at least you were gonna have a good coverage.
Yeah, you're right. Like that's the kicker, right? Like back then, the art was awesome, but the movie, there's a good chance the movie was going to suck. Yeah. Now it's like both. Now like the box art, the movie, however you want to phrase it, that stuff sucks, and the movie probably sucks. So you don't even get the added advantage of that anymore.
Yeah, you don't even, like, if you buy it, you don't even get the cool cover. At least you can display the cover. It has a decent artwork.
Yeah, because that looks bad. But hey, you never know. We've got the horror anniversaries this week. We've got the first one up is Theta Bara. She was born July 29th, 1885, but she passed away April 7th, 1955. So that is tomorrow, the anniversary of her passing. She was an actress and writer. She had the nickname of the Vamp because she was in a movie in 1915 called A Fool There Was as the Vampire. So basically from there, they just called her the Vamp. And she was one of the early stars, of Hollywood. So probably not a lot of people know really much about her nowadays. But the interesting note that I found on her was she was basically she was the first fabricated star, quote unquote, in Hollywood. Because she worked for Fox Films. So this is before Fox even moved to LA. That's how long ago this was. But apparently, like, they had a publicist claim that she was the daughter of an artist and an Arab princess. But in reality, she was the daughter of a Jewish tailor from Cincinnati. So they they changed her whole backstory, her whole name, and everything. So apparently, that's the historical context of that she was the first one that they did this for back, in Hollywood. Which now it's every other person, but back then, she was the first. So that was the interesting note on her. But unfortunately, like I said, she passed in 1955. So we acknowledge her on this anniversary of her passing tomorrow. And the last one that we have, Kane Hodder. His birthday is this Friday. He was born April 8th, 1955. So happy birthday to Kane Hodder. Now, I'm sure most people that will be watching this or care about horror know who Kane Hodder is, but he's an actor, stuntman, producer. His most famous parts are Jason Voorhees and Victor Crowley. He played Jason in Friday the 13th, part 7, 8, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X, or Jason 10, however whichever camp you follow in as far as how you say that movie, right? And he also played Victor Crowley in Hatchet 1, 2, and 3, and the movie called Victor Crowley. So, Kane Hodder, his birthday is what did I say? Friday? Yeah, this Friday. So, happy birthday to Mr. Hodder.
You ever got choked out by Kane Hodder?
No, I haven't had the pleasure. Have you?
Yeah, he doesn't hold back much. Now, if you want to, that's why most people, like, he lets them know, like, you really want this, right? Okay. He's like, and then you feel it. You definitely feel it. He doesn't just have the fingers laying there,
You really want to get choked out by Jason, he'll do it. So there you go. It is funny too how he only played. Well, now granted, he played Jason 4 times, but it was in the later years. But just based on that, like he's kind of become one of the dudes that's like the face of Jason now, right? Like even though he kind of did it towards the tail end of the whole run. You think Kane Hodder?
Yeah, I think he's the one that's played him the most consecutively over the course of. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I haven't checked that background on that. Anybody want to fact check me? Do it.
Hey,
but, I'm pretty sure.
Right. You're probably right because you had the kid in the first one, right? So he never did it again. And then I'm not sure the lineage after that, but 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Man, I know there was at least 2 different guys during that stretch. So you do the simple math. I don't know the whole lineage right here in front of me, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody played him in more than 4 movies. No. In fact, I'm 100% sure on that. Nobody played Jason consecutively in more than 4 movies besides Kane playing him in those 4.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's pretty much it we got for this week. So I'll go ahead and note again the current Crapsterpiece Theater poll for the month of April here. So this will be for one that we watch over on patreon.com/AASpookshow in the month of May. Your 4 choices are No Holds Barred, Cats, The Wicker Man, and Super Mario Brothers. There's really like which one of these doesn't fit, right? It's fucking Cats.
Yeah. Well, the most horrifying movie in here is Cats. I know we're not doing we do horror movies, in the Crapsterpiece. We don't do horror movies in the cult thing, but it's definitely scarier than The Wicker Man, I think, from what I've seen of it. I haven't seen Cats. Just the makeup.
Oh God.
The way that they look when they're singing, all that stuff was pretty creepy in and of itself.
Yeah. So with any luck, quote unquote, we'll be watching Cats, but who knows, right? We never know how these things are going to land. But you can vote over on patreon.com/AASpookshow. You don't have to be a patron to vote. All you have to do is just go over there. The poll is there. You don't have to be a patron to vote. You can cast your vote there, or you can go to any of our socials, Facebook, Twitter, so on, and comment your vote. And then we'll have the poll over on Twitter as well. So tons of ways to have your vote heard. And you can vote as many times as you want. If you want to vote for The Wicker Man 100 times, go for it. We'll add them all up at the at the beginning.
I don't know why you do that, but sure, do that if you want. Whatever reason you might want.
Why the hell not?
Vote for The Wicker Man.
you weirdos. So there you go. That's through the end of April. So April 30th at midnight. That's when that poll will end. And we just want to remind you that coming up, we'll have episode 104, our first Cannon Fodder episode, Over the Top. Episode 105, Donnie's Choice, will be Phantasm. And then, of course, here in the next week or so over on Patreon, we'll have Spook Show Rewind number 4. So that's pretty much it. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up with that. So you see all the things that we do and everything you can find us at right there on the screen. So thanks for watching another week of Deadline Horror News. Come back next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. East. Hopefully we'll have Donnie back next week. And for Will, who couldn't be with us, and the Professor Smoke, and Donnie, of course, I'm Josh. We're from the All-American Spookshow Podcast, and we will talk to you next week on Deadline Horror News.
Later.